Hey, good morning, everyone. Um, Welcome back to the AI Data Quant series. My name is Steve Cannon, and I'm doing these videos as a way to kind of talk a little bit about the important issues, the broader important issues that we face in using AI to solve a business problem. My impression, as I said earlier, is that it's somewhat difficult to solve these problems if we look at it as a chance to use a specific tool. Instead, we want to kind of talk about a little bit about outcomes. And that doesn't mean it's easy because I guess you have to know a little bit about the tool to, to kind of guess what the outcome might be. But my impression is that if you're in a firm that's doing this and you're focused primarily on the tool, I've never seen that go particularly well, and I find it somewhat confusing, especially in a scenario like we are today, where the tools are rapidly changing and evolving. Some of the tools might tend to be vaporware, and also so. One of the things one of the things that I want to discuss today is customer service, because it's such an interesting direct application of large language models, right? So large language models are, really designed, I guess, to do, I mean, they're doing more now, but kind of grow out of the desire to solve the Turing test, which is that you're talking to a machine and you can't tell whether it's a machine or a person. And I think maybe that's not probably the best test for whether you get good customer service. I don't think that people would be that upset if the customer service sounded a little bit like a machine, as long as it solved their problem. But still, it's a pretty direct question. I mean, to not know, to pass the Turing test, you've got to know a lot of information and but also be able to respond to incoming information, right? So that's super complex, and that's why LLMs are so special. So I want to talk a little bit about what it means if, say, you're an organization that's has employs several thousand people in a call center, or several hundred people in a call center to do customer service. Is it really an option to use LLMs to manage that process and take over most of that from people? It is the short answer. There's just absolutely no question that that's going to be much more cost effective. Now, if you're Hermes and you're going to run customer service, you're going to have to also have good people. But for most of us who call in, we just want to solve the problem that we have, and to some degree, jury's still out, but it appears that it will be better for the customer as well to have this kind of AI, at least AI assisted, and probably just completely AI customer service. The reason is twofold. One is there's there's no time. There's probably a fairly much lower cost per minute, right? So you can so for customers who are complicated for various reasons, you can stay on the phone with them for a much longer time and be very patient with them and figure out what's going on. Secondly, it's probably better than it's probably a shorter path to an answer in a properly functioning AI customer service system, that it's a shorter path to a resolution of your problem than the kind of options, catalog options, the current automated customer service methodology, which is some options and then you decide which one you want, or you can even speak to it. That's kind of an early version, but doesn't really speak back to you. So I think it should be able to shortcut those menus a little bit. I do think that and provide better, a much broader range of resolutions. I think that this is a fairly significant line item in budgets of consumer-facing companies. One that the existence of the web and apps has not entirely gotten rid of, although I would imagine it's gotten rid of some of them. But it's still a significant cost, and AI I think can do it better. This is kind of definitely a cutting edge scenario, but the winners will kind of have an edge, a little bit of an edge. You don't necessarily need to be the first to adopt, but you want to be early, only because most likely what you'll be using this for is, imagine you have a business that has, that's the customer interaction part is a significant part of the business, say banking, or package delivery, or something, so that you interact with customers on a pretty regular basis, and that's a significant part of your the kind of the core competency, right? So what you'll be doing by developing a customer service agent that's AI is there's a whole range of collateral things you need to develop, which is, basically more or less data science and prediction, and cataloging and gathering data and analyzing data and converting unstructured data into structured data. And all of that stuff you will need broadly throughout all your customer interactions. So online and marketing, if you have a marketing a relationship with the customer where that would be better if it were nicer. All of that stuff will improve, and you can do it in the context of, look, the outcome is to reduce by this amount our cost on our customer service, and you'll develop a lot of the data and the data science and the data analytics, as well as this kind of magical front end that you have ChatGPT and other similar companies doing. So I would be aware that the first company to say they have a customer, not every company that claims to have a customer service offering is going to be the one to get involved with, only because some of those will not be good, but also because some of them will be good, but they won't be, they won't be the best. You'll have some kind of lock-in cost, essentially, that's non-trivial, and it won't be the right one to lock into, or it has a higher lock-in cost, than it needs to, right? So this is super critical. You can see this to some degree in the early web solutions that were based on Microsoft. I'm not dismissing the current web solutions from Microsoft, but the early Microsoft web solutions were very expensive to switch out of, and they weren't really the best solution. They were seriously suboptimal. They didn't really. The interesting thing is, even though you were already in Microsoft Office, and you were using Windows throughout your enterprise, it really didn't lower your cost of entry into the web to use the Microsoft solution. Those Microsoft solutions turned out to be kind of bad-ish, right? And they had they appear to have been designed with very high lock-in switching costs in mind. Now, whether or not that's true, I don't know, but it certainly was a very expensive proposition to get off of those systems, and many did. And it was actually just way more expensive to build in Microsoft than you didn't need. It wasn't in any way an enhancement. So you want to be careful about who you're picking as your solution provider. So, I think you got to really think about your outcomes, your broad categorical outcomes. Like, is that we're trying to, we want to lower our costs, and we also want to say, understand our customer better and to be able to respond and understand. For example, you would want to be able to price, you would want to be able to use this solution to help you predictively price changes to your services, right? So you would, you would want your customer service, automated customer service application to generate data that your data science team could use, which would allow you to predict economic impact, profit, P&L, essentially, for changing your service, deleting some features of your service or adding new features to your service. If it's not generating that, you just think about, is that one of your, do you care, right? Or are you in a business where you can't really, you're locked in, or are you in a business where figuring out, like, say, health insurance, for example, are you in a business where understanding how much customers value a particular service, a particular part of your product offering is very valuable, and to be able to tune that to maximize profit, right? And so including the effects if customers don't like it, right? So this is a complicated situation. So I think thinking about the outcomes as also, I would also consider the retraining time for human customer service call centers, for example, to be a loss of product agility. So you have to decide, is product agility, again, something good for you? In my experience, the automation makes labor costs lower, and that's important, right? But automation also can dramatically improve agility of a business, which makes it easier to grow and change and just take on new opportunities. And you look at Interactive Brokers and how agile they are, how quickly they can move into a new market. At least when I was there, is absolutely incredible. No competitor could match it because of because of the human retraining that had to happen. That just couldn't be avoided. You had to do it right. You had to retrain. So I think customer service is one of the most interesting. At Trunk, we're full on into that, and I think it's one of the most interesting things coming out of LLMs. I think the great thing about it is it's not just let's use LLMs to do something. It's an outcome, so you don't have to focus on the tools. You just say, that's our outcome. If it's LLMs, fine. If it's this LLM, fine. If it's something else, that we're just focused on getting the best outcome. And there is a lot of non-LLM work that you have to do to get these things to work. We're already hearing reports of that. We know that. It'd be nice if that were not the case, but if you think about it logically, it doesn't. You have to know what question. You have to minimum know what are the common questions, and you have to feed in the responses, and you have to wire it up to the things that take action in your system and all that stuff. So anyway, that's today, customer service. I would love to hear any comments below these videos. It's very helpful for me to understand what people are interested in. That also love to hear from the front lines as we are, what are you seeing? And great. So we will, this video 3, I hope you enjoyed it. Bye.